Hello guys. That might be better. Welcome to the 3D market commentary for today. Apologies for a little bit of the late start, technical difficulties, but here we are. So my name's Becky. My email address is becky@tradictive.com. There's also this link here, which is tradewithufos.com/Becky. That's that one there. That will take you to this page. Let me just bring it up for you. This page, and you can set yourself up a free Trade with UFOs membership, which should allow you to get emails that we're going to send out every day, and you'll see one that we're going to do today that will come out every day. It gives you information on 5 of the major world markets. You'll also get recordings of our YouTube sessions, reminders for our YouTube sessions, and more importantly, you'll be able to come down here and ask a question in a live environment, which should allow you to, in a open environment, which should allow you to then be able to get the answer in a public environment as well, so that the whole community can learn from each other. That's tradewithufos.com/Becky. And let's just make sure that we cover the disclaimers. So let me just highlight those there on the screen. There we go. So obviously important that we understand disclaimers, not just for legal reasons, but to make sure that you guys understand that when we do these kind of videos, they are demonstrations. So you can ignore it if you want to, you can take it on board if you want to, something in between. Ultimately up to you to decide what works for you as a trader. Okay, so let's pull up what our 3D market commentary is. So here we go. That's the email that we send out every day, and the information on it correlates to what we see in the markets. So we will go through these one by one through what the data is and what the probabilities are for these markets. And now, first things first, just to explain for those that maybe haven't joined us before, we're going to be looking at 3 separate elements. So the first thing is market climate, upcoming market direction. Is it up? Is it down? Should we be buying? Should we be selling? Should we be long or short? Or perhaps not enough probabilities either way and we do nothing. We use an app to help us with this called AutoClimate, and this app scans through the market data and comes back and says to us in the form of these different colored dots where we have probabilities. So ignore the lines for now. If we just look at the dots, a thick red dot is probability to the downside, meaning we should look to sell. If it's a thick blue dot, then it's probability to the upside, meaning we should look to buy. And if it's a thin dot of either color, that tells us not enough probabilities either way, keep away from it. So that's the first thing, is looking at market climate and understanding that with our app, where do we have probabilities up or down. Then it's figuring out our entries and exits. Where are we going to buy? Where are we going to sell? And that's why we look for unfilled orders. That's what these little flying saucer things are. That one and that one. I've got other ones on the chart there as well. These are the closest ones to us on this chart as an example. These flying saucers, these UFOs, or unfilled orders, show us where we have lots of buyers or lots of sellers. And that's helpful to us, because if we want to buy where there's lots of other buying going on, because it's more likely to beat the sellers and push price up. If we want to sell, then we want to sell when there's lots of selling going on, because it's more likely to beat the buyers and push price down. So we use our UFOs to help us with our entries and our exits. And then last thing there, we look at risk to reward, and we use market volatility figures to help us with that. The more volatile it is, the more risk, which can also mean more reward. The less volatile it is, the less risk, which can also mean the less reward. So we'll look at that per market as well. So starting with the S&P, now we're using a daily chart for each of these markets, daily chart, and we're using the continuous futures contract. Now, for the S&P, that's the US stock market. So essentially, we are looking at a representation of US stocks. Now, with US stocks at the moment, we have an unconfirmed climate. It's a little thin dot there, and it says confirmed no, meaning not enough probabilities either way to call it. Better move on to a different time frame or a different market. Now, when it comes to buy and sell UFOs, we have buy orders here at 3983.75 to 3933.75. Little way away from those. We're a good few hundred points away from that. So overall, with the S&P, not enough probabilities either way at the moment, and not close enough to stacks of orders to change things soon. When it comes to volatility, we'd expect a movement in a year of 20.58%. That means in one day, a movement of 53.86 points. In 1 week, a movement of 118.57 points. And in 1 month, a movement of 246.82 points. Okay, so that's the S&P. So again, overall the S&P, not enough probabilities either way really to call it, and not close enough to buy or sell orders either. Now, moving on to the next market, which is oil. In the meantime there, it says about our courses, so you can check those out. Futures, stocks, forex, backtesting, trading plans, psychology. A lot of the courses come with 3 months complimentary access to the apps. So AutoClimate is a free app on most of the platforms that you can use it on. AutoUFOs is a paid-for app. It depends which platform you use as to how much it does cost. On TradingView, which is the one I'm using here, it's $34 a month. Now, a lot of our courses are a one-off fee of $34 or a one-off fee of $89, and they include 3-month access to the UFOs. So if you do the maths on that, it actually works out to be cheaper to access the apps by doing a course for 3 months. So check out the courses, see which one you'd rather do. You could just go straight to the apps if you'd like. Okay, so oil, crude oil, let's have a look at this. We have a confirmed upwards climate, thick blue dot, probability upwards. Normally this market goes up for 7 candles. I know that says 6.48, but we're going to round that up. And we're on candle. So quite a lot of probabilities there to the upside with crude oil at the moment. In terms of buy and sell UFOs, we have buy orders, which are here at 62.43 to 60.61, and sell orders up here at 69.90 to 68.46. Now, we have, in terms of volatility, an expected movement in 1 year of 36.46%. That means in 1 day, up or down of 1 week, up or down of 3.30 points, and in a month, up or down of 6.87 points. Overall there, probability to upside there with crude oil. Now again, we say probabilities, it's not definite. So of course we still manage our risk just in case, and you may add other variables or other elements of a methodology. But as far as our apps are telling us today, based on this time frame on this market, overall probability there to the upside. Now, next market, which is gold. In the meantime, it says up there, you can just enroll straight for the UFOs. You don't need to do a course if you don't want to. Now, a course might be a cheaper way of getting it because you get 3 months free access. But either way, if you don't want to do that, you can enroll directly for the UFO. So you can check that out on our website. Okay, so gold. We have a confirmed upwards climate, thick blue dot, probability upwards. Now, usually this market goes up for 7 candles. Again, I know that says 6.1, I'm just rounding that up. And we're on candle number 10, which means we've gone past what is normal. We've gone past what would be a usual move to the upside, which means the further we go past what is normal, obviously the more likely we are to see price actually change direction rather than continue. However, saying that, when it comes to buy and sell orders, we have buy orders just below us here, or relatively below us here, at 1788.1 to 1769.2.6 to 1907.5, and we're in the middle, which means at the moment the climate is pushing to the upside, the probability is to the upside, the momentum is to the upside, and we would have to move a little way up before we hit sell orders that could change that. Of course, new orders can come into the markets, that happens of course, so we should be aware of that. Overall there, still probability to the upside with gold, not as many probabilities as we'd like, but still probability upwards. In terms of volatility, we would expect in 1 year a movement up or down of 16.75%, which means in a day, up or down 19.52 points, in a week, up or down of 42.96 points, and in a month, up or down 80. Overall probability there for the time being to the upside. Okay, so just to say here, coaching and support, we do lots of sessions on YouTube and Facebook for free. You can join us on those, of course. We also have a closed coaching environment, which is $21 per month, where you get access to more of our time in a closed environment. So you can check that out as well if you'd like. Okay, next market, which is the US dollar. Let's have a look at that. Very important market. It's responsible for 80% of transactions worldwide every day. So even if you don't trade US things, it will impact all of these other markets that we look at and then some. So with the US dollar, we have a confirmed downwards climate, thick red dot there, probability downwards. Usually this market would go down for 6 candles and we're on candle number 1. So again, that tells us we have probability of a continuous move down based on what usually happens. When it comes to buy and sell UFOs, We have sell orders above us here at 90.91 to 90.575. And we have buy orders here at 89.795 to 89.165. Now, just to show you here, this green UFO, let's just squidge price up there a little bit. This green UFO that we see here, that we may be coming towards, this has already worked to push price up. Price came in at this point, came into UFO, meaning it hit a bunch of buy orders, and the buy orders pushed price up. That's why we use UFOs, to tell us specifically where price is likely to turn, so that we can be very accurate where we buy and where we sell. So at the moment, overall probability there to the downside, sell orders above us, buy orders below us, slightly closer to the sell orders. Again, probability downwards for the dollar. In terms of volatility, it's a less volatile market than the others. We would expect a movement in 1 year of 6.23%. That means in 1 day, 0.35 points up or down. In a week, 0.78 points up or down. And in a month, 1.62 points up or down. Again, overall probability there to the downside for the time being with the dollar. So last market, which is backed Bitcoin. Let's take a look here. Backed Bitcoin. Lovely. There we go. So we have a confirmed downwards climate. Thick red dot, probability downwards, meaning we should look to sell. Now, we don't know how long this market usually goes down for because it's not old enough yet. It's not been around long enough for us to say that this happens regularly or this doesn't happen regularly. So a little bit in the dark there, but we are on the third candle to the downside, so bear that in mind. When it comes to buy and sell UFOs, we have sell orders here at 57,975 to 54,500. And we have buy orders here at 39,157.5 to 32,192.5. We're kind of in the middle there. Obviously, a big difference in terms of price values between those buy and sell orders, which gives the price a lot more room to move. It will increase volatility. As we've seen, we've had gaps and gaps. Wouldn't be surprised to continue to see movement like that. So coming to volatility here, we'd expect in a year a movement of 131.95%. It's obviously much higher than the other ones that we've looked at. Being a cryptocurrency, that's kind of its nature. They tend to be a bit more volatile. And that means in 1 day, we'd expect an up or down of 3,000. 8,200, 17,165.57. So again, these are big moves. Not a good thing, not a bad thing. Depends how you feel about risk or volatility. So just bear it in mind so that you can make a decision based on your rules as a trader and how you feel about those things. Overall probability downwards there for the time being with Bitcoin. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can self-schedule a clarification call. Let's just scroll that up a little bit. Self-schedule a clarification call there. Chat to one of our experts about courses, apps, coaching, memberships, what's going to help you out most. There's this weekly economic calendar you can check out on fxstreet.com, so you can see the high impact news that may cause volatility in the specific markets that you trade. And again, you can filter here by the markets that you trade or the countries that you trade in, if that's helpful. So at the moment, we have later on today news coming out on the Japanese yen or Japanese markets, and news coming out in Australia, which again could affect the Australian dollar or Australian markets. So that's what we have coming out today, being Monday. Any questions about anything else, you can email me if you'd like, becky@tradictive.com, or go to tradewithufos.com/Becky. Get yourself a free Trade with UFOs membership up here, and then you can come down here, ask a question in a public area where we can answer it there and everybody can learn from each other. Anything else, you can email us, like I said, Becky, or you can email support@tradictive.com. So I will see you guys on Thursday. My colleague Boyan will be taking it on Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'll see you guys on Thursday for the next one. Hope you have a great trading week ahead.